Welcome to Cheat Sheet Tale, where secrets slip, lies unravel, and the truth always has a twist. Real stories, raw confessions, and shocking betrayals. Drop a comment if you've ever caught a red flag too late now. Let's get into today's tale. When I got a huge promotion, my cousin raged, "You stole my job." My aunt agreed, saying, "You should quit to make it right." But when she stormed into my office demanding my resignation, my boss's response left her speechless. I never thought a simple email could change my life so drastically. It was a regular Tuesday morning in Atlanta, Georgia. I was sipping my usual black coffee, preparing for another day at the office. Then my phone buzzed with an email notification. The subject line read, "Congratulations on your promotion." I blinked, rereading it to ensure I wasn't imagining things. After years of dedication, late nights, and missed family gatherings, I had finally been recognized. I was promoted to senior project manager at our firm, a position I'd been eyeing for years. Elated, I called my parents to share the news. My mom cried tears of joy, and my dad, a man of few words, simply said, "Proud of you, kid." But not everyone shared their enthusiasm. Later that evening, I received a call from my cousin Darius. We had grown up together, shared childhood memories, and even attended the same university. However, our paths diverged post-college. "Hey, Darius, guess what?" I began, eager to share my news. "I already know." He interrupted, his tone icy. "You stole my job." I was taken aback. "What are you talking about?" "That promotion was mine. I've been at the company longer. Everyone knows I deserved it." I tried to reason with him, explaining that promotions are based on performance, not tenure. But he wasn't having it. "You always had everything handed to you." He spat before hanging up. The next day, my aunt Darius's mother called me. "How could you do this to Darius?" she demanded. "Aunt Darius, I didn't do anything. I earned this promotion. You should step down. It's the right thing to do." I was stunned. "I'm sorry you feel that way, but I won't resign from a position I've worked hard for." She hung up without another word. A week later, as I settled into my new role, I was informed that a visitor was demanding to see me. To my surprise, it was Aunt Darius. She stormed into my office, eyes blazing. "You need to resign now?" she ordered. Before I could respond, my boss, Mr. Anderson, entered. "Is there a problem here?" he asked. "Yes," Aunt Darius snapped. "Your employees stole my son's promotion." Mr. Anderson raised an eyebrow. "Ma'am, promotions are based on merit. Your nephew didn't meet the criteria." She was speechless. Word of the incident spread quickly. Darius' reputation took a hit, and Aunt Darius faced backlash for her outburst. Meanwhile, I continued to excel in my role, earning respect from colleagues and superiors alike. Family gatherings became tense, but I remained cordial, hoping time would heal the rift. About 2 weeks after the office confrontation, things got weird. People started treating me differently at work. Not my team. They had my back, but folks from other departments began giving me looks, cold ones. I brushed it off at first. Maybe they were jealous. Maybe it was just in my head, but then I overheard 2 coworkers whispering near the break room. I heard he only got promoted because of his uncle on the board. Yeah, and Darius was next in line. He's family too. Guess they picked the wrong cousin. I froze. My uncle on the board. That was news to me. After work, I called HR to ask a few questions. I needed to know if there was any truth to these rumors. I'd worked my ass off for this position, and now people were saying I cheated. The HR rep sounded confused. "No, your uncle isn't on the board. We didn't even have anyone by that last name connected to you." So the rumors were lies, but who started them? I didn't have to wonder long. That night, I got a text from one of Darius's former co-workers, someone he tried to befriend early on. It read, "You didn't hear this from me, but Darius has been talking, saying your promotion was favoritism. Said he has proof." The next morning, I got called into a meeting, not my usual team meeting. This one included HR, my department head, and one of the legal advisors. Apparently, Darius had submitted a formal complaint. He claimed I'd accessed his project files and presented some of his work as my own to land the promotion. My hands went cold. I knew I hadn't done that, but they took it seriously. They had to until we review the files. The HR director said, "We're placing you on administrative leave." It felt like a punch to the gut. I packed up my things in silence. and walked out of the building while everyone stared. At home, I tried to calm down, but my hands were shaking. I opened my laptop and logged into our shared company system from my personal device. My access was locked out, so I did the only thing I called Elijah, one of the IT guys who I'd helped last year, with a presentation. Elijah, I know this is asking a lot, but please tell me if you've seen anything on the servers about me accessing Darius's files. Had paused. Funny you ask. A file was moved from Darius's project folder to a shared team folder under your credentials, but the timestamp is from 2:13 a.m. was asleep at 2 a.m. Man, that's what I figured. So I checked the IP address. It didn't come from your house or work. It came from a coffee shop indicator. Darius lived indicator. Elijah sent me the log details. I printed everything and dropped it off at HR the next morning, even though I was still officially on leave. That afternoon, I got a call from Mr. Anderson. We've reviewed your file and the IT logs. You're cleared of all wrongdoing. We'll be issuing a formal statement tomorrow. Relieved, I thanked him. Then he added, and Darius has been let go for submitting false claims and tampering with company records. I didn't know how to feel. I didn't want him to lose his job, but he wanted me to lose mine. I returned to work the next day. People were polite again, even friendly, but something still felt off. Then I got a Facebook message from a fake account. Just one line. You might have won this round, but we're not done. I stared at it, my pulse racing. Was it Darius or someone else? One thing was clear. This wasn't over. A week later, my mom invited me over for Sunday dinner. Your aunt and cousin won't be there, she promised. Just us. Let's breathe a little. I needed that, something normal. When I showed up, the house smelled like roast chicken and biscuits, nostalgic. My dad was already watching the game, and my little nephew ran around with a toy truck. But just as we sat down to eat, the doorbell rang. Mom froze. I didn't invite anyone else. I opened the door, and there they were. Aunt Darius and Darius. He looked tired, darker under the eyes, but not remorseful. Aunt Darius pushed her way in like she owned the place. We need to talk, she snapped. Now's not the time, my mom said. But they sat down anyway. Darius looked at me and said, You ruined my life. I stared at them, fork still in hand. You tried to ruin mine first. I had no choice, he said. You wouldn't understand. That's when he pulled out a USB drive from his coat pocket and dropped it on the table. What's that? I asked. Proof, he said, that you were never supposed to get that promotion against better judgment. I plugged the USB into my laptop after dinner. The folder was titled Internal Priorities. It had dozens of email threads, some real, some fake. At first glance, it looked like internal discussions between HR and leadership, talking about how I was a risk and how family reputation could help repair optics. I knew it was fake, but damn, it looked convincing. Then I noticed a mistake. One of the emails was supposedly from our head of HR, but it was dated 3 months before she even joined the company. I dug deeper. Fonts didn't match. Headers were sloppy. Still, someone had clearly spent a lot of time faking these. The next day, I met with Mr. Anderson. I had to come clean about the USB and the fake documents. He took it seriously. You did the right thing bringing this here, he said. We'll have our forensic team take a look. A few days later, he called me back in. We know who made them. Erase it for it. It wasn't Darius. It was your Aunt Darius. My jaw dropped. She used to work in a law office, he explained. She still has contacts. She asked someone to forge these emails. We confirmed it through metadata. And an unrelated complaint her name came up in. I sat there stunned. When I told my parents what happened, my mom cried again. But this time from shame. I had no idea your aunt could go that far. She whispered. My dad, who rarely spoke about family drama, finally opened up. You don't know everything, he said. Your aunt and I had a falling out years ago. Your promotion, it triggered something. She always thought I was favored. She passed that bitterness to Darius. It all made sense now. The rage, the entitlement, the obsession. With fairness that was never about fairness. At all, Mr. Anderson called me again. We've issued a restraining order. You're safe, but be careful. Why, it's over, isn't it? He paused. Not really. Someone tried to access our server again last night. Same IP from Decatur. They're not done. Then came the letter. Not an email, not a text. Real letter in the mailbox. No return address. It was short. You think you're safe now, but I never play fair, no signature, just that I handed it to the police. They started a case file. But Ike knew better. This wasn't just about a job anymore. This was war. Weeks passed, but the pressure didn't. I checked my locks twice every night. I installed cameras. Outside my apartment, I couldn't shake the feeling someone was watching me. One night, my phone buzzed at 3:27. ME motion detected at my front door. I opened the camera feed. A figure stood, their hoodie up, hands in pockets, standing still, just staring. I didn't move. I didn't blink. They turned and walked away. After 5 minutes, police cam reviewed the footage, couldn't confirm the identity. I had a sick feeling it was Darius. Enough was enough. I decided to beat them at their own game. I contacted a private investigator, someone discreet. I gave him everything, names, addresses. What happened, I told him to find proof. He wanted the truth, and I wanted it to be undeniable. Within 2 weeks, he had everything, and Darius wasn't just behind the forged documents. She had been digging through employee social media accounts, leaking company emails, and feeding rumors to a small gossip blog in Atlanta that ran anonymous corporate insider stories. Even worse, she had used Darius' old credentials to log in at public Wi-Fi spots and plant fake documents. Darius knew, but didn't stop her. In fact, he helped her create them. I had all the screenshots, timestamps, and a recorded phone call between the two of them laughing about how they could spin it to make me look like the fraud. I walked into HR with the entire folder and handed it over without a word. They were stunned. Legal took over. It was no longer an HR problem. It became a criminal investigation. The company's lawyers filed charges: forgery, corporate sabotage, defamation, trespassing. Aunt Darius was arrested. Darius was called in for questioning. He panicked and tried to delete his hard drive, but late. It hit the news. Corporate sabotage, scandal linked to family feud. People in my office treated me like a ghost at first. Then came the quiet nods. Then came the apologies. My boss gave me the corner office. I didn't even ask. And Darius's law license was revoked. Darius. He moved to Florida. I heard he's working at a local gas station, still telling anyone who will listen that I ruined his life. Here's where I admit something, though. I shouldn't have flaunted the promotion. I called Darius that night, out of excitement, but maybe also to brag. Wheelways had tension, and I pretended we didn't. And when he called me a thief, I should have cut ties, then not given chances, not tried to fix it. I let guilt get in the way of common sense. That nearly destroyed me. I left my guard down. I trusted family over facts. That was my mistake. 6 months later, I got a call from the prison visitor registry. Aunt Darius Shad listed me. She wanted to see me before her sentencing. I said no, but I drove by the prison that day and sat outside in my car. She never saw me. I just needed to see her behind bars. That was closure enough. I moved to Seattle. Not long after, fresh start, different coast, different air. I still work in project management, but I don't tell people much about my past. I don't need to. The people who matter know. And if I ever get another promotion, I won't be calling any cousins. Sometimes revenge isn't loud. It's quiet. It's walking away while they drown in the mess they made. Sometimes it's letting the truth expose them on its own. And when it happens, you don't need to say a word. They already know.